Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, bringing you another entry in our Halo Combat Evolved Legendary playthrough. We're on mission number 6, 343 Guilty Spark. Now this one's not going to be obviously as long as Assault on the Control Room, what we had before, but I think this is probably the best story-based mission maybe in the entirety of the franchise. It is really awesome the way this level originally played out. There's a bit of it that's been lost, I think, in translation, especially with the anniversary graphics being so much more beautiful, but also much, a lot, better lighting and frankly a lot less blood. So I think, gosh, don't hold me to this, because I did a couple different versions of this, but I think I did this all in the original graphics. I know there's some people out there that really love the anniversary graphics, and don't worry, I'm one of them as well, but when you first played this game, the last thing that you kind of wanted to, or I'm sorry, the last thing you really dealt with was a lot of, really good lighting and all of that. This was all very creepy and mysterious, and I think the creepy part has kind of been taken out of the anniversary graphics, even if they're, quite pretty to gawk at. So first up, we're going to start off by dealing with some awfully scattered Covenant forces. Not quite the way the last, or the first 5 levels start, where you have these, much more kind of organized groups, if you will, where they're coming down from drop ships or they're set up in a defensive position. Here they're just kind of all scattered about, and of course we have this very interesting lack of elites to command these troops. Just grunts, just jackals. Hard to know what to make of that, or to even really pay much attention to it the first time you play this game, if you can remember what that was like, especially if you didn't know what was going to happen. You see some yellow dots on your map. Kind of makes you think that, we're doing the very, I guess, same thing we came here to do, I guess theoretically, was to help Keys out of some jam. Yet again, another jam. But Cortana was awful frantic on our way out of the control room also. So maybe, just maybe, the first time you played this, if you didn't know what was going to happen, maybe you had a feeling that something was a little more awry than usual. Maybe something was a little bit different. Something that wasn't yet seen. Something that wasn't yet known. Now just know you can run right on past this group as they are running away from presumably your troops. Of course you hear the assault rifle firing when you walk up. Kind of makes you think that, our guys are really kicking some butt. I mean, if you think about it, over the last 5 levels, we've just gotten more and more and more of a foothold, humanity I mean, on this ring world, and despite what may have happened on Reach, it seems like we're pushing them back and doing a pretty good job, even if it's just Chief himself, really gaining a foothold, really gaining, I guess, a presence here. And so coming across this, it almost, I guess I didn't go fully with the old graphics. But anyway, back to my quasi-storytelling approach here. It really did seem like humanity was starting to really kick some ass. And you come here, and again, the Covenant are scattered. They're running away from assault rifles that are rat-a-tat-tatting. Well, it just felt like this game was going in that direction. But, just again, in the back of your mind, you just couldn't help but remember that frantic feeling you got from Cortana, the urgency, not even taking the time to tell you what the hell was going on. Almost like it was something that she didn't have time to explain to us, or maybe couldn't explain to us. We just need to get over here and stop Keys. But stop him from what? What could he possibly be doing that we need to stop him from doing? You know, I should talk about frags here to kind of go back to a little bit of a walkthrough approach. I like to conserve frags. I usually throw one at that group outdoors there. It's usually pointless. It probably isn't really necessary, but I'll throw one out there to see if I can get some kills as they're running away. Throw one into this group down here, because if you let them linger for too long, they can get quite annoying to have to fight off from down here or over there, especially with just the sheer amount of overcharges that are coming at you. I like to save one more frag for, well, for the big reveal. And then I like to save, a frag for the big reveal, and then one final frag for a part after that. So try to at least have 2 frags going into this, to the cutscene, which I did not show in this video. Oh, did that get on him? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Oh, he doesn't know where it's coming from yet. He's just going to look at the grenade. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I guess he was he was down to his last inch of health. Oh, yeah. Of course, you always want to watch when you're going in those doors. You saw where before there was a jackal left over. There can be one left over there as well. Yeah, he's frantic and scared and such. He starts shooting at you. It's best just to take him out quickly unless you're really wanting to take in the full ambiance of this level. Maybe for the first time, or for the first time in a long time. I don't generally advise going into, I guess, kind of a story mode mentality when you're playing on legendary difficulty. I don't think Chief in any sector of the lore is quite the glass cannon he is in on legendary difficulty. So if you're kind of wanting to be more in the story mode, trying to really take it in, maybe for the first time, or again for the first time in a long time, probably best to throw it on heroic if you still want a little bit of a challenge, or normal if you want to really again kind of immerse yourself. Easy, I don't think it's that easy in the canon for Chief. I don't think the enemies are that inept. So, well, the first group comes out of here. You know, the high DPS assault rifle is really good for these little infection forms. You just want to make sure they all come out of the door. Best way to do that is to look within it on all sides. Like this group here, since you're coming from the, I guess, the left of the door. If you're left, then you want to go look right and make sure that all those little bulbous bastards come out there. Here's straight away, so we may have gotten them all, but just in case, we're going to run over here, and sure enough, there's a handful in there that's still left over. Just using the pistol while my assault rifle reloads. As they start to get a little more sparse, you can kind of burst fire a little bit, but it really isn't that important. Now this is where you save a frag grenade for, is right in that pile there. We don't get all of them, at least all of them that you can get there for some reason, but we get the majority of them and aren't going to get trapped in this room trying to finish off these infection forms, and at the same time try to worry about one of these guys bodying us against a wall or something like that. On legendary difficulty, you do not get the shotgun until a specific room where either a combat form or a dead marine will drop it. On every other difficulty, however, you can get the shotgun just a bit earlier than that, and I'll show you where that's at. The plasma rifle, in my opinion, works a lot better against, you know, all the flood except for that which may be right up in your face. This is the final part where a frag grenade is useful. It usually gets a lot more kills than a plasma grenade will. We've got some flood that's running around here. I did want to try to kill most of the combat forms. I don't know where he must be above us. I don't know quite what happened there, but oh well. He's up there somewhere. We just missed him. So I'm not explaining the route properly. So, you know, there's the quick route, and then there's the what I call the story mode route, where you go the wrong way a couple of times, and there are a couple of little, you know, significant set pieces, I guess, for, you know, if it's the first time you were playing it. Ooh, he slapped us right in the face. But I believe this is the quickest exploit bump type route, the one I'm going here. I'm not going through it overly fast, but definitely moving at a pretty slick pace here. Slick as I can manage, at least. Notice how, you know, we don't have guns on these guys, so we're, as best we can, going straight for the arms. I get punched from above. That can happen. They can punch through the geometry, which is really annoying. But we've got a couple of tricks up our sleeve for the various ways in which they can attack you, some of which don't make a lot of sense. So yeah, notice I'm going for the whip arms. I guess I should clarify that. The whip arms, not the weapon arms. The whip arms are always on your right, so they're left. Surprisingly, some grunts had came down here. That's not normal. It's not crazy surprising, but usually they're up there on that walkway, so I don't know who else is up there, so I'm going to throw a slight Hail Mary grenade there, and I think I get at least one kill, and I think it's the last Covenant troop that was up there. So as you may know, in that big reveal, what we find out is that Keys has not actually stumbled upon some sort of weapons cache. This is where you get the shotgun on normal and heroic for the first time. On easy, it's actually out by the Pelican. When you get off of the Pelican, it's by the quasi-crashed Pelican there. But anyway, on Legendary, not so much. You have to wait even longer. I missed that guy. Yeah, I know why. Because he cheatingly turned around there, but then his programming switched over back to the mode he's supposed to be in. But there was like a slight little glitch there where, you know, you can see that it doesn't really matter if the enemy's turned around. On Legendary difficulty, they have that awareness kicked up to non-organic levels of awareness. Alright, so if, you know, you don't have to do this, but I'd like to go ahead and start right off and get this active camo. It is really not, not active camo, this overshield, it's really not massively important. I actually think that this is one of the hardest parts. I think it's because of the way you come down that lift, like you don't have any cover right off the bat, so I go ahead and grab it now. Even if some of it gets chopped off here, which not a lot of it did here, it really doesn't matter because you won't face necessarily like a terribly tough part going forward. I'm not saying it's easy going forward, but you won't necessarily face anything that you really need it for. The way they're, you know, some of those rooms were in, you know, are in the library or are in Keys, rooms, hallways, whatever. Again, notice how the plasma weapons they just have great stopping power at distance. That's why I like the plasma weapons more than I do the assault rifle on Legendary. Now, the assault rifle is really good when they're up close, especially when you're dealing with infection forms, but it just doesn't have the stopping power that a plasma weapon does. Now, this is the room where you can get the shotgun. I do not use the active camo really at all strategically. I'm not saying that you can't use it strategically. I just don't do it here because this is where you get the shotgun, so I'm not about to run out of this room really fast. You could stay up here and wait until you find the shotgun because it sometimes can be hard to find. Like the Marine that drops it is not always in the same spot. Sometimes he's even on the upper level as well. There's also a at least one, not that Marine, there's at least one combat form that has one, and we find it here. So, and that's actually a pretty decent drop there. What? Okay. There he is. Not saying he's always there, I remember it. But yeah, there's, again, the Marine can be in a lot of different places. I gotta admit, I feel like an idiot. I'm not really sure what dictates the placement. Like if there's maybe like a bomb or grenade that goes off. Not really sure. I forget about that piece of cover there that he can punch through, of course, but I'm not going to be able to shoot through. I think he punched me through it, kind of, sort of. Notice I'm just, you know, this overshield is just getting eaten away. That's not a problem. It really isn't. Again, there's not a really intense part you're going to have to deal with at some point where you really, really need it. There's a lot of just kind of wonky spots. Like right now, they're all above me. And so they're in a prime position to just jump down whenever they want and kind of sneak attack me. So thank God they can't backsmack you like they can in Halo 2, or I probably would have been dead there. Oh, you piece of garbage. Get your ass down, waving that frickin' whip arm through the geometry again. I think I dropped that as somewhat of a timed mine for any infection forms that could be following me. I'm not really suggesting that's the best use of a plasma grenade, but I don't tend to find myself using plasmas or grenades a whole lot through here. Not really sure why that is, other than there's a couple different spots where they can be grouped together that I like to try to take advantage of, but I'm not sure I did a great job of that here, like right now. But I think they've all kind of come up here, so I didn't, like I said, I didn't take full advantage of. There's a good spot there. I throw the frag down there, but it goes way too far. Just didn't quite work out, and I think that's because their alert level is high. They know I'm in here. I'm shooting at stuff and things, but I do get a nice little. Reminds me of playing Firefight in Halo Reach for some reason. Get a nice little bounce there off of that wall. I think Courtyard was the level where I would do that. The map where I would do that in a certain spot. All right, there's no flood to either side when you walk through that little hallway there. All right, we got Needler. No good. No good at all. There we go. Shotgun to the mouth. That tends to work pretty well. I hear them. I just don't know where the hell they are. So we'll go up there and face them up there. No big deal. Alright, there's two on each side, or maybe it's 1 and 2. Kind of at random. And usually... Whoa, a reviver. And usually when you kill those guys, the two from the other side show up, but this time they didn't, so I'm not going to really bother with them. Yeah, I definitely didn't go with the old graphics all the way through. I'll explain why I thought that in a minute, because there's something I will propose once we're done with the level. Just in case, you know. Alright, let you two guys fall. I knew you were getting back up. So you get nothing really all that intense, especially once you get the shotgun in hand. We could shoot a little bit better there. Now I make a mistake here. As soon as you hit that bridge, that's when enemies start to pile up at that door. I'm not really sure why I didn't take advantage of that here. I usually do. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. I think maybe you can get these enemies, but there's still ones that are hanging out over there that we are able to get some multi-kills on, but anyway, it's not really that big of a mistake. Yeah, that grenade bounced out of there, so that was part of the reason why that didn't work out. Oh, that guy had a shotgun. You don't see that a whole lot in this level. Yeah, we could have gotten a lot more with just a couple more grenades, so we could have been a little more efficient there, no doubt about that. Alright, I think that's everybody in this room. They all kind of pile around that door, and you know, one way or another, they're pretty easy to kill if you know that's coming, you know, with grenades.
This is Echo 419. Chief, is that you? I lost your signal when you disappeared inside the structure. What's going on down there? I'm tracking movement all over the place.
Be sure and re-up your shotgun ammunition there, even if you don't need it. Why not? I think I needed just 3. But 3 shells. So the best thing to do is just to keep going that way, but for some reason I get caught up in trying to kill these guys, and by doing so I kind of made it a little bit harder for me on the way out. I think these guys kind of piled up. Your Marines will usually take care of them. If they don't die, it's not really that big of a deal, but because I keep going this way, I kind of, again, I'm looking for enemies and I'm finding them, but since I'm going the wrong way, it's really, again, back to efficiency here. It's just kind of inefficient to do it like that. Again, from this point, I almost shot that Marine to death. Dude, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to. I didn't actually mistake you for Flood that time. It's possible I will later and shoot you in the brain, but for now, that's not what happened, I swear. So again, I kind of let them pile up from behind, and then at some point, all of our Marines are dead, and it's just us, and then we look at all the red. We kind of put ourselves in a massively precarious position here, especially with that Needler dude. Well, even the plasma rifle guy is making us work for it. But somehow, some way, we dodge that final little, whatever it would have been that would have taken our shield down, and we get a recharge, a much needed recharge. And we kind of blast our way out of this. Timed mine there for the infection forms that are kind of following me. I think we get all but the closest few. Now we're going to go to the pistol here and see if it'll help. We get another freaking Needler guy. Sucks, but you really have to prioritize them so much because of how devastating those and tracking those needles really are. And they really can be devastating once your health gets down. And of course the infection forms are really devastating whenever your health is all, or when your shield is all the way down. Alright, get these guys out of here. At some point along the way, we should have our first encounter with sentient Forerunner tech. Yeah, let's help them out. Let's not make this. I like, I like to try my best to keep these Sentinels alive. I don't always do it, especially when you get a Needler guy. Yep, we lost one there to that bastard. I think that it's almost, I think this is kind of sort of like Sacred Icon. As soon as everything's out of combat, you're golden, but it could also be that the Flood just stops spawning. If you kill all the Sentinels, then the cutscene will start. So, for you speedrunners out there, make sure all those Sentinels go down. They're hard to kill. You need to have a plasma weapon, and of course, you won't have any aim assist or bullet mag. So, kind of hard to do there. But hey, that's it. That's 343 Guilty Spark. Now, I'm going to pose a question to you. If you want me to post a story mode version of this, it'll be a little bit longer, but it'll be all old graphics, and it'll be, it's kind of styled in a way that like as if Chief was coming here for the first time. It's not necessarily styled in a way as if you're playing it for the first time, because I do, of course I'm going to be aware of certain things that Master Chief couldn't have been aware of in the canon when he walked in, but I go to all the I try to get all, kind of take it all in, really, look at all the scenery, taking the atmosphere of the level, and I include the cutscene in it. If you'd like for me to post that along with this or instead of this, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this kind of more rock'em sock'em playthrough walkthrough version for you. That's, not as cool as the other one, the story mode version. So, anyway, please like if you enjoyed this content, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, also hit the notifications bell so you get notified whenever this stuff is hot off the presses, fresh out of the gate. And of course, please leave any comments about, negative, positive feedback, any questions you have, anything that you'd like to say about the strategies I use, anything that I didn't clarify. If you just want to show your love for this level, then please write it down in the comments section. I read them all, and I try to respond to all of them as well. As for now, this is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.